Right, here I am ready to go over P23 with you in your practice and homework journal. It is a interpret the remainder page. So let me share my screen with you. See here. All right, so hopefully I've got everything working the right way now. We are interpreting the remainder. The first thing it says is in geography, the average depth of the ocean is about 3,688 meters. You would have to stack the tallest tower of the Incheon Bridge in South Korea 16 times to reach this depth. What is the height in meters of the tallest tower on the Incheon Bridge? So if we are interpreting a remainder, we're going to start with our division. Again, if you do not have room on this page, which I don't really think there is enough room, you can always use a notebook or just an extra piece of paper. I'm going to go over here to the side because I don't have this anything right near me right now. You could also always use the back of the book. So maybe I'll do that. So we have 3,688. 3,688, and we're going to divide that by 16. Now, I did not go through and circle or do anything with my important information, but I'm going to do that now. It says that the ocean is about 3,688 meters. That was how deep. If we're going to be stacking these towers to reach that depth, we need to find out what is the height of the tallest tower on the Incheon Bridge. So we're going to take 3,688. We're going to divide it by 16. All right. So in class, we've been talking, can 16 go into 3? And I hope you said no. So we've been putting a little X there just to remind ourselves that we would put no digits there. You don't have to put that little X, but make sure you don't put any digits above. 16 can go into 36. So now I have to start thinking, I might have to guess and check. I'm going to do 16. I know 15 times 2 is 30. So I might know 16 times 2 is 32. So I'm going to go with that, just applying what I know. Our 2 goes above the 6. We subtract that 32, and we have 4 left over. Because 4 is smaller than our divisor, we'll bring down our 8. Now I have to think, how many times does 16 go into 48? So I'm going to, again, guess and check. It's only a little bit bigger than my 32. I'm only going to go with a 3. So if I check that, I would get exactly 48. So I'm going to take that 3, put it up in my quotient. We'll subtract the 48. We're at 0. We have another 8 to bring down. Now I'm assessing, can 16 go into 8? And we say no, because I have another space here with my place value, because I brought a digit down, I have to put something up in the quotient. So now we have 230, and we'll have this remainder of 8. So I'm going to transfer that over. The answer was 230. Whoops, I started to write my 8 already. 230 with a remainder of 8. Now, if we're interpreting that remainder, we're talking about the height in meters. And if you remember from our little anchor chart that we were looking at, I can drop the remainder, I can use the remainder, I can round up my answer, or I can turn it into a fraction. So because we're measuring on your brain, we want an exact answer. We can't just drop the remainder. We won't use the remainder. We won't round our quotient. We will turn it into a fraction. So 230 is our whole number quotient. And then I have 8 is my remainder. That becomes my numerator. My divisor is my denominator. So 230 and 8/16 meters is what we're talking about. Now, I remember from class, some of you might be saying, wait, Mrs. Alexander, we can simplify that 8/16, and you're right. We can make it 230 and 1/2 meters. And as I've said in class, both of these answers are correct. We will work on simplifying later this year, so either one of these answers are acceptable. Okay? Number 2, a group of students is taking a field trip. Each bus holds 24 students. If 174 students are going on the trip, how many buses will be needed to hold everyone? So the important information here, each bus can hold 24 students. We have 174 students. We need to know how many buses. This is a real life situation when we go on our field trips. We have to figure out how many buses. We don't want to leave anybody behind. So I'm going to take 174 divided by 24, and I'm going to go to the back of my book again. 174 divided by 24. So again, can 24 go into 1? Nope, can't do that. Can 24 go into 17? Can't do that. 24 can go into 174. So 24 is close to 25. I'm going to think about how we count quarters. So I know 4 25s would be 100. And if I keep going, another 3 would give me 175. So that's 7. So what if I do a guess and check with that 24? Since that's less than 25, I'm going to try that 7 and see what happens. 4 times 7 equals 28. 7 times 2 equals 14, plus 2 equals 16. I don't think I'll get any closer to 174 than that. So I'm going to put a 7 in my quotient. I'll subtract the 168, and we will have 6 left over. So those 6 kids, we have 7 representing the number of buses. It would be 7 remainder 6. So if I have 7 full buses, I'm sorry, there's going to be 6 kids that have to be left behind. No, we don't want to do that. So now am I going to drop? Am I going to use? Am I going to round or turn it into a fraction? That remainder, I'm going to round because I want 8 buses because I don't want anybody left behind to miss the field trip. So we want 8 buses. All right. The next one is open-ended. You can write a word problem to model that expression. This can really be almost anything. You would want your divisor, make sure that that is the total of something that is happening, and then what you want to split it up for. So, for example, you might say, I have, that's awfully close. Let me get a space between that. This is just my example, so you don't have to write this one. You can just listen for now. I have 193 pictures that I want to put in an album. Now, this is kind of showing my age because we don't really get pictures anymore like we used to put in albums, but because I'm as old as I am, I can use this one. I can put 14 pictures fit on each page. So I want to know how many pages can I fill with these pictures? Or actually, how many pages do I need? Because I don't want to leave any pictures out. How many pages do I need for all of my photos? All of my pictures. All right. So when you write your own, just make sure you have 193 of something, and then you are splitting them up into groups of 14. So how many groups will you need? And you can make yours match dropping the remainder, using the remainder, rounding, or turning it into a fraction. We can all write something a little bit different. Okay, let's go on to number 4. James has 884 feet of rope. There are 12 teams of hikers. If James gives an equal amount of rope to each team, how much rope will each team receive? So 884 feet of rope, 12 teams. He's giving them an equal amount. That is important to remember. How much will they each get? So I'm going to see if I have enough room right here. If I work neatly, I have 884 divided by 12. So I'm thinking, can 12 go into 8? And it cannot. 12 can go into 88. So now I might have to do some guessing and checking. You guys are very good about knowing that 12 times 5 is 60. So I know it's going to be more than that. I think I'm going to try 12 times 7 off here to the side. Oh, and that got me very close. 84. I think that's as close as we'll get. So I'll put my 7 and I will subtract. And I have 4 left. Bring down the next digit. Now, 12 times 5 was 60. So I might try 12 times 4 or 12 times 3. I'm going to go with, oh, let's do 12 times 3. I have 36. I don't think I can get any closer than that. We'll put our 3 in our quotient and subtract the 36. Getting very squishy, sorry. Regroup, and we have 8 left over. So the answer is 73, remainder 8. Now, if he's giving an equal amount of rope to each team, and the rope is measured in feet, oh, I just gave you a big hint. Can I say he gave them 73 remainder 8 feet? Doesn't sound quite right. Can I just say he gave them 73 feet? Well, what's going to happen to that if I do that, if I just drop that? Can I say he gave them 74 feet? Well, he's not giving them 74 feet, is he? So with our measurement, again, we're going to take our whole number quotient, we're going to turn our remainder into a fraction, which would be 73 and 8/12 feet each for those hikers. Now, again, if you are good with the simplifying of fractions, this one does simplify. 73 will stay the same. 8 and 12 are both multiples of a number. They're both multiples of 4. So we could make this 73 and 2/3 feet. Either one of those answers is acceptable. They say the same thing. One is just in its simplest form. All right. Number 5, the owner of a snack bar wants to put 294 ounces of trail mix into bags. If 16 ounces are put into each bag, how many bags can be completely filled? So our information, we have 294 ounces. That's our total trail mix. We're going to put 16 ounces into each bag. And we need to know how many bags will be completely filled. So back to my work area back here in the back of my book, 294 divided by 16. All right, can 16 go into 2? It cannot. 16 can go into 29. How many times? Just one time. I hope you had that. We'll subtract, and we have 13. I'm going to bring down the 4. Now I might have to do some guess and check. How many times can 16 go into 134? In one of the classes today, somebody said they always like to start with 5 because it's right in the middle. And then we can adjust from there, either up or down. So let's do that. When I do this work, I get 90. No, I don't. Sorry, I caught that one myself. I get 80. Just take that like that. So I know I need more than that. I'm going to try 7 this time. 7 times 6, regroup, and we get 112. Ooh, I think I can get closer than that. What if I add another 16 to that, which would be the same as 16 times 8? Oh, there we go, 128. I don't think I'll get closer than that. So we're going to say we had 7 and we did another, so that's 8. And we'll subtract the 128. So 14 minus 8, we'll have 6 left. Our answer is 18, remainder 6. 18, remainder 6. I'll put that there. Now, how many bags will be completely filled? So our whole number quotient is representing our filled bags. The 6 is telling us how many ounces we have left. So can we fill another bag? We cannot. Completely filled, I'll have 8 bags that are completely filled. Last one together. A restaurant has a supply of 796 forks. I'm going to code this one as I go. 12 forks. Uh-oh, don't be fooled. There's another value. 12 forks are needed to completely set one table. Completely setting. How many tables can be completely set? So we'll take this problem, 796 divided by 12. Okay, so 12 cannot go into 7. Can 12 go into 79? Sure can. We already talked, you guys are really good about knowing 12 times 5 is 60. So if I do 12 times 6, that'll get me to 72. I subtract and I have 7 left. I'll bring down my 6. I don't think I'll get any closer than 12 times 6. That equals 72. We have 4 left. So our answer is 66, remainder 4. 66, remainder 4. How many tables can be completely set? I have a full 66 full tables. They all have 12 forks. I have 4 forks left over. I cannot completely set another table. So I can't round this up. I'm just going to drop off that remainder, and we're going to say the answer is 66 tables. All right, so that's it for our extra practice. If you want to now, if you're doing well, you're understanding, you can try the test prep on page P24. You do not have to bring me any of this work. If you understood what we were doing just now and in class, you don't have to bring this to me. If you have questions, bring those to me and we'll talk about them in class. All right, I'll see you later.